What is Natori Ryu? This question is difficult for some people because of course Natori Ryu is new in the sense that most traditional Japanese schools now concentrate on martial arts, and there are very few traditional Japanese schools in English and for a Western audience that teach gungaku, military science. So Natori Ryu is actually the study of gungaku. This means military study. And it's anything inside of military study, basically. Traditionally, Natori Ryu was situated in Wakayama. And of course, it was in samurai times. And the samurai didn't know how long this peace period would last. And Natori Ryu had settled down in the peace period. And while previously they had been at war and they'd been in the Takeda clan, Natori Masazumi had expanded it vastly. He'd taken Natori Ryu teachings and then he'd also studied at a school called Kusunoki Ryu. And he brought the two together and we're going to say mixed them up or built a solid full school of military study. And the Lord even said to him, you should call this school Shin Kusunoki. So you sometimes see Natori Ryu referred to as Natori, you sometimes see it referred to as Shin Kusunoki or Kusunoki Ryu. Or of course Toryu, our school. But what is inside Gungaku? Of course, without all the scrolls in front of you, you won't know. But while the scrolls are coming out, you have to think of Natori Ryu as everything that is not the martial arts. So everything that a samurai needs to know is in Natori Ryu, and you put the martial arts on top of it, and that would make you a complete samurai. So what I'll do is go through a short list here for you. Now, of course, Natori Ryu is predominantly based in tactics. It's about tactics in warfare, and this we think comes from the Takeda, Koshu Ryu. We know Natori was studying on Koyasan, which is a mountain under Takeda, ex-Takeda retainers, and he was studying warfare. We don't know whether these were connected to his old family. There's lots we don't know, but in the scrolls it definitely has Natori Ryu stuff that is from Takeda, and it's about tactics and military. Of course, Natori Ryu has medical things, because when the Natori family or Natori Ryu served the Takeda clan, what they would do is they would give tactical advice, and they would also deal with the wounded. They would deal with the people coming in. So as samurai were coming in, they had a secret medicine that was for sword cuts, and it helped, you know, stop the bleeding of the sword cut, and they would patch up people and send them back out. But on top of that, Natori Ryu members were also frontline soldiers. So we know Natori Masatoshi, who's the founder of Natori Ryu, actually, he was in the vanguard, so he was in the front line of the Takeda forces, and he was on around 300 koku, which is not massively high, but it's not low, so they're middle grade samurai family, and of course they're respected for their tactics and advice. But later on, of course, Natori Masazumi added greatly to it. Like I've said, he created the Kusunoki lineage, branch or lineage inside of Natori Ryu and put them together. So this also deals with living life as a samurai. What should you do? How do you respond to a party invitation? How do you deal with, you know, the etiquette of party? What happens if people start drawing their swords at a party? What happens if you're walking by a friend, not a friend, but another samurai's house and he's murdering one of his people? How should you deal with that? Or what about if the Lord calls you and said, there's a criminal inside that building, Natori Ryu, we want you to get them out, which seems to be one of their jobs, is like, get those criminals out of that building. How do we infiltrate them? Criminal capture, how to capture criminals. Not the binding, the tactics behind it. Or for example, if you're a samurai and you find yourself in the street and somebody's shooting muskets down the street or arrows, how do you get up the street and kill the samurai? You know, all those things are part of like living life as a samurai. Travelling at night, how do you get a ferry? How should you get a ferry? How much money should you take when you go travelling? All these things are inside Natori Ryu. It's basically a step-by-step guide to being a samurai. Go to my next point. Of course, there's life in an army, not just life as a samurai. Natori Ryu is a military war school. So while it teaches you how to live life as, say, in the peace period, it teaches you how to live life in an army. What size armour should you wear? What type of armour should you wear? How long is the peak of the cap of your helmet? Why is it that length? What's on the inside of the helmet? Where should you write your notes? What should this be made of? What attachments should you have on your spear? If you're marching in line in an army, where should you, you know, how do you do the protocol of who goes first. Who carries your sword? Who carries your spear? Where should you put your spear in your house? You know, all these things. That it's difficult, guys, because it's massive and it's colossal, the actual teachings. And we have them all. They will be coming, so it will be explained. But they're the type of things. Of course, you've got water arts, and what everybody's interested in is you've actually got the way of the shinobi, the shinobi scrolls of Natori Ryu and how to be a ninja. So when you ask the question, what is Natori Ryu? Simply think of it like this. It's living life as a warrior, as a samurai, as someone in feudal Japan, and how would you do it? How would you go about it? Yeah, you go elsewhere to learn how to hit people with a sword, but how do you deal with the other people? And how do you deal with camps and military camps and enemies and things like that? There's so much to come. So Natori Ryu is a military science. It is not a martial arts school.